Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Coach Med, and welcome to today's Dish Tips. Today's Dish Tips are going to be pre-game routines. Stay tuned and check it out. Hey guys, so today on pre-game routines, we're going to discuss a lot of different things. And then at the end of next week on Friday, we're going to show you videos or the drills that you guys can go through with these pre-game routines. All right guys, so the first thing we're going to discuss is our dynamic warm-up, our mobility, our flexibility, getting us ready for a game. So things that we'd like to have our guys incorporate to their pre-game routines or before they even do their lessons or workout with us is making sure they do some kind of dynamic movement, whether that's getting some stretches in with some lunges, some rotational movements, some A skips, some B skips, open the gates, close the gates. Again, we'll show you what those are in our video next week. But to get our body hot and loose, start to get it warmed up enough so we can actually stretch it out, to have static stretch movements. We're also going to have our performance staff, coaches from SPI, show you some of these movements and some of these things to add into your stretches that are going to be helping you get ready for a game, which also help aid in injury prevention, okay? Being loose and warmed up, guys, is a very, very big component of us playing the game and being a good catcher and being a good athlete to help curb that injury prevention side idea so that way we can be healthier and last longer. All right, guys, number two here, all right, playing catch. Now, this is a big one, guys. This is really, really important. We got to make sure we focus on what we're doing when we play catch. We got to take some pride in how we play catch. It's really, really important, guys. And what we do, focus to get ready to play a game, to how we're going to throw the ball, our movements, our body movements, how we receive it, getting our feet moving, getting our hand and our arm in the right position, making sure we follow through, playing catch with accuracy. Guys, playing fetch is not a good idea. I've seen a lot of guys this year, they don't work on playing catch with their partner the right way or hitting the target or hitting them in the chest. There's no focused intent to what they're doing playing catch. Guys, this doesn't take a lot of effort. It just takes some time and slow down and focus on what you're doing. Make sure your feet are lined up, your shoulders are lined up, make sure you're following through. Have a good idea of what you're trying to accomplish when you're playing catch. And then work on your movements, whether you're an infielder or an outfielder, things like that nature, especially a catcher. Make sure you're adding in your movements you'll do from behind the plate, throwing to second or third or first, implementing those in your catch routine. Guys, what we do in this routine are going to help us get ready for the game before we step on that field. All right, number three, guys. Number three. Now, this is where we get into our fun stuff, our drill packs, our receiving, our blocking, our footwork, getting ready to go into the bullpen or into our game, all right? So we like to make sure our guys focus on a good little pack of drills receiving, whether it's some skip drills, some bounce drills, some regular front toss flips, but making sure we're working in, left, right, or in, middle, and away, varying up our setups if they use one knee down, making sure they add these into their drill movement so that they were able to use that into the bullpen and also into the game. So our body's used to making these movements before we get going, okay? Plus, sometimes you might find out, hey, I don't feel good sitting this way today. I might have to try something a little bit different. But that way we know before we get into a game what our body can and can't do, okay? So one of the drills that we like to use first, like we talked about, is our little roll or our roll bounce or a skip drill, and we use a tennis ball. You can use a lacrosse ball, ultimate ball, something that's got a little bit of movement to it or a little bounce. Also making sure that if they get a little too stiff to the ball, that it's got some good feedback, that if they punch at it, it kind of pops out, okay? All these drills we're doing, guys, when we do them, we want to make sure that we're working 6 to 3, making sure our thumb's at 6, moving up to 3 o'clock, getting back to horizontal, making sure we work to the outside of the ball, working it back towards the plate. Not a ton of movement, just a little bit to create a little bit of rhythm. We're not trying to pull the Little League World Series, pull them in and out and back and in. Just subtle, nice movements. We're not trying to make a pitch that's probably like a 85% chance of ball to moving it to a 90% chance of being a strike, okay? We're just working on good glove path, making sure our pocket's on the ball. We're not too stiff punching and everything. We're working out in space and having good hand-eye coordination. Moving into hand-eye coordination, one of the things we want to talk about is using something that's a little bit smaller, really making sure we focus on really being detailed with the pocket, working 6 to 3. You can use a wiffle ball, like these little small wiffle balls that you can pick up anywhere. Something that we're excited to start using are the Ufo Discs by Zan Barksdale at Catching 101, and we'll leave the link in our footnotes to this that you guys can go to them. You might have seen some of these videos out there already of these guys using them. They are fantastic. I'm excited to get these in. It really makes you focus on the hand-eye coordination and really makes you focus on getting that thumb at 6 o'clock position to make sure we're working here, making sure we're working the pocket presence on the ball, and we're working kind of like that pinch movement, not just trying to work the whole hand into it, okay? Really, really important, all right? Last thing we'd like to move into a little drill pack. Again, this is something easy and quick. We're going to use a regular glove. We're going to use them to something with a little bit of resistance. That way, if we catch the ball wrong or we get to the ball late, it drags us out of the zone. So that way we're working on beating the ball to the zone, getting the pocket around the ball a little bit quicker, making sure we're working the ball versus it working us, okay? You can use the variances of weighted balls out there, a 16, a 12, 8, whatever it is, something a little bit heavier than just a regular baseball weight to get that feedback. One of the things that we like to use here in our camps, our drills, our machine work are the balls made by C25. These guys are fantastic. They make a great ball for high velocity training on a machine and the weighted baseball. These things last, guys. They're fantastic. We'll leave the link in the descriptions of them below as well. But these are some simple drill packs, just something nice and easy, at least 3 of them to work the movements. Again, make sure they're varying their setups in all these, working the knee down, make sure you're working in and out, also work up and down. We prefer to make sure our guys are really working low to high at the beginning to make sure we're working below the ball to work up and a nice smooth rhythm. All right, guys, hey, number 4, we're almost to the finish line. Stay with us here. Blocking. So blocking, we don't get so crazy and we don't get super in depth in. Just a few different movements to get our body ready to go, make sure we're moving properly, we're tracking the ball into our body properly, being a pillow, being as soft as possible. We like to say try to put your belly button on the ball, make sure we're getting over it, deadening the ball in front of us as close as possible, okay? Again, we'll show you some of these drills next week in the next Friday's video. So what we like to use with our guys pre-game is some kind of rag ball and credit ball. Reason being is we're not trying to kill them before we go for a game, but that way we're making sure we're working good movements and good rhythm before we go into it. So we'll use a couple drill packs. We're working low to high, making sure that we're working in a nice setup, working on reading the ball into our stomach, nice and simple. Okay, then we're going to work into a full block progression where we're up, moving left, middle, and right, and varying up our steps with a 1 knee, left knee up, right knee up, making sure we work on those before we go into the game. Again, this is also something we work on because we don't know if we're going to feel good moving into the game with that. We just might feel completely uncomfortable. All right, guys, number 5, we're at the finish line here. This is our footwork and transfers. So this is the last thing we add into our drill pack before a day, is making sure that we got a good rhythm, a good sequence moving into the ball, making sure we're not gaining too much ground, but making sure we've got a good flow of the way our body's going to work as we're getting ready to come up to throw, whether it's the third, first, or second. Mainly your throw's going to be a lot of second base. It's just where it's at. The younger guys, we know they're back picking at first base, third base a lot. As you get older, things kind of change. It just depends on the guys you're playing, the team, the runs you're going to have. So again, this is something that's not very taxing. It's not a lot. We're going to just do a few simple movements, letting the ball travel to us, making sure we've got our pocket on the ball. We're not going away from our receiving techniques. We're making sure we keep our receiving patterns the same as we're doing our footwork and transfers, making sure we're letting the ball travel to us, letting the ball get into our body in the midline, make sure we transfer somewhere in the middle. Again, you don't want to rush through this drill. This is a sequencing drill to make sure that we're getting things done properly, okay? So we're going to do something nice and easy. We're going to let the left knee kind of sink in on the first one, do a few there, get that rhythm. Then we add in our right foot, and then all of a sudden on the last round, we actually put it all together to where we put the whole sequence together, getting our foot up and down. We're getting a good separation from our midline, a good hand path, make sure our separation's good with our left hand getting out front. In lessons, we talk about getting a scapular load, making sure we're getting it pulled back. Something nice and easy, something simple, so that you can take this into that drill pack. And again, the whole drill pack together, guys, after you've stretched, you've played catch, this shouldn't take any more than maybe 5 minutes at the very most. It's not a lot. This is just to get us tuned up, ready to go, all right? Just something to get us ready for a play in the game or go into our bullpen. Again, guys, this is stuff that shouldn't take super, super long. Right after we do our dynamic warm-ups and we play catch, this drill pack or this pregame routine of those areas shouldn't take any more than maybe 5, 6 minutes, roughly somewhere in there, maybe 10, just depending on how many reps you do of each one. Now, guys, I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure you try to catch that starting pitcher. And we know the young teams, the youth players, you may not get that opportunity all the time because you might have to just catch a little bit, go hit, but try to make sure you get at least some of that pitches in, see them in the bullpen before you go to the game. Bullpens are one of the best ways to take these drills and get ready for a game because you can really add in your sequencing, especially with your footwork and your transfers, to get a good rhythm and good timing with it. Hey, everybody, hopefully you enjoyed today's tips. If you have any questions over today's tips, please feel free to reach out to us at info@mwcatching.com or any one of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. please feel free to hit us up with any of those questions. We're here to help you guys, and we want you all to succeed. Again, like we discussed, next week we're going to have our videos and all these tips added into those videos for next week, going over that. So please stay tuned to that and make sure you don't miss it. Thanks again for stopping by, guys, and we'll catch you later.